Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to Paws On Animation.
Today we're covering the InuYasha sequel series, Yashahime Princess Half Demon. Yeah, okay.
InuYasha! InuYasha!
What is it?
This series, which is not InuYasha, takes place many years after the original show, centering on the next generation of the InuYasha family. Now, only this time is centered on Sesshomoru's daughters and Maroha.
Right, but they act like they're the main ones. But before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, include notification updates on future podcasts and pause videos.
Absolutely.
I think that's the weird part of it. Like when you start, they don't go to InuYasha's daughter; they go to his brother's kids.
Well, maybe it's so that, like us, other people won't just focus on InuYasha instead of focusing on his daughters. Maybe that's why.
Maybe.
Because even when I was looking at the descriptions online and seeing the posts on Twitter and things, all I kept thinking about was InuYasha.
Maybe.
So maybe it's like, look, we want you to focus on Sesshomoru for a little while, and Ren and his kids. Forget about InuYasha for a while. I also believe that's why in the first season they didn't even bring them in.
Right.
You saw where they were. You saw that they weren't in it, and that's all you needed to know. So your attention didn't go from the half demon princesses to InuYasha, because that's what would have happened.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think that's what put us off when we first started watching, because we saw this live on Toonami. We didn't watch it on Crunchyroll. It actually came on live when they were having MHA and they were still having the lineup of shows.
And season 1 and recently season 2, which just ended.
Right. And when we saw, we were kind of like, hey, they're not going back to where the show is. Whole new characters. Who the heck are these? And he have 2 kids and very confused for a while. And they did bring Maroha in, and it was like, and I think the funniest part about Maroha is that she acts exactly like InuYasha and she's never seen him.
Right.
Like everything is exactly like him. Like,
So let's just clarify: the half demon princesses are Towa, Setsuna, and Maroha.
Right.
That's who this particular series is around. I'm sorry, I'm just trying not to laugh hysterically while we're doing this podcast. Please forgive me. But I have to say, it's a well done sequel. This is how sequels should be done.
Right.
Whether they're Western animation or anime, where it's something different, something new, but you bring some of the old in and it doesn't overtake the sequel.
Right.
And again, that's why they weren't in the first season, because we would have forgotten all about what it was supposed to be. So the first season starts off with us learning about the half demon princesses.
Right.
And how the events of the series ending for InuYasha predate what's happening in this series.
Right. And they also show how the twins got separated when they were really, really young.
What happened to Ren.
Having the Sesshomoru, they left out, like you said, what happened to InuYasha and Kagome for a long time.
Until later in the season,
and we kind of thought maybe something had happened when they were gone.
And we kept saying every episode was, where's InuYasha?
Right.
Where are they?
Right. And I think a lot of people in the beginning thought that maybe they were gone, and that probably would have upset so many people into not watching it, but luckily that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
And I think they, if I remember, the Towa was raised by
Kagome's brother.
Right. Setsuna was raised by Sango and Moroku.
Right.
And then Maroha was raised by
multiple people.
Right. And it was
raised
mostly
by Kaede.
Right. And
Koga.
And it was like,
and Grandpa. I'm just like Grandpa. What's his name? The Fleet.
Was it Hyoge?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's who she was with.
Right.
Yes. So that was really interesting to find those things out. And again, the way it was done, it was seamless.
Yeah.
And it seemed really natural. It didn't seem like it was, well, they're trying too hard. They're trying to make something out of nothing. No, it just seemed natural and it flowed. And the story, probably by the 3rd or 4th episode, I really got into it.
Mm-hmm.
The story began to unfold, how their destiny. Yeah, their destiny.
Yeah, they kind of keep saying
their destinies all were going to end up intertwining and coming together for the three of them, the half-demon princesses, as well as for the parents and the others that were involved.
Right, because eventually you see everybody again as it goes on, whether it be from the past or from the present. Now Toa was raised in the present, so she is sort of like did a reversal. I guess she got that from Kagome, but it has nothing to do with her. But this time it's her coming to the past, and then they had some episodes where they went to the present, and they still kept that in where they were reacting to the different time periods things. Like they were still fascinated by things that came out of the present. Like, what's that?
And I think it was interesting how when they split up the twins, one was in the past, one was in the present. Toa was a little off-putting for some people at first because they thought she was a boy because of the suit she had on.
Right.
But she had the little tie-on that clearly is feminine in Japan with their school uniforms.
Right.
She had a short haircut, and then someone finally asked her, I guess so they could clarify for the audience, why was she dressed that way? She said, it's just easier for me to do what I have to do.
Right.
And that was it.
Wow,
she didn't want the long hair to get in her way. She didn't want the skirts going up and the heels and everything. So hopefully not as being a teen, but the point was it was easier for her. She didn't have to think about anything.
Right.
In the present, wearing the suit.
Right.
Now in the past, Sesshomoru had on an outfit that was trousers or pants.
Right.
So she didn't have that issue. But yeah, in the present, you could see how wearing the school uniforms and the clothes they wore might be an issue for her because she's more tomboy. That's the way to put it. I was a tomboy.
Right.
Whereas Kagome was really girly and the skirt worked for her and she liked being pretty.
Right.
And it works.
Right.
So, and then they also had to differentiate between she and Kagome to show you they're different.
Right. And they kind of did like with DuckTales where they made sure each of them were different. They weren't just a clone copy of the mom or dad or uncle or cousin. They made them all their own little characters, but you could still see, you didn't know who the parents were. It's like, okay, this must be InuYasha's kid, this must be Sesshomoru's kid. You could know and not have to play that game with the characters.
Right. And I love how Toa ended up being, again, reared by Kagome's brother.
Right.
And the grandma and the grandpa.
Right.
And nobody aged except the brother.
Right. I was like, wait a minute, they all look no different from they did in the original show. Even the cat is still around.
And I also love how separating them, you could see the differences between the sisters. Sessuna was more like Sesshomoru.
Right.
Very serious. She had no sense of humor. She also had the butterfly that had taken her sleep away, so she didn't sleep.
Right.
But she just pretty much was just Sesshomoru as a female.
Right.
And then Toa had more of Ren's personality.
Right.
Friendly, outgoing, loving. And she loved having a little sister and her mom and dad in that, in the present. And she just was Ren.
Right.
That's it. So
and that
I love how they made that clear for you. Their personalities and everything by them being split up and who they were with.
Right. And then he said with Moroha, it was funny, she was raised by multiple people, but she still came out acting like InuYasha.
That's just little InuYasha.
Yeah.
That's what Moroha means in Japanese. I know it doesn't. It's little InuYasha.
Right. And then the way she speaks, the way she acts, the way she talks, the way she fights.
Even her clothing.
Yeah.
The same red type of royal outfit.
It's like, how come you don't remember your parents, but you still act like your dad?
She was a baby.
Right.
She was a baby.
And people thought, oh, she didn't act like Koga, she was like Kade. No, she's still just InuYasha, and she still had his accent, even though she had never been around him. So it was like, how the heck that even happened?
Morgan Berry is brilliant as Moroha. Voicing her. She is brilliant. I mean, I've seen a lot of roles of her that I love, but I have to say now, this is my favorite role for her voicing as Moroha. I don't think I'm going to like any other character or love any other character more than love Moroha for her voice.
Right. Now for the story, it's 2 different ones, both seasons. And so far there are only 2 seasons. The way that season 2 ends, they leave it open for a 3rd, but there's no manga that came before it, so they're kind of going off of how popular it is if they want to continue the story. First season
was just getting us acquainted with the new cast.
Right.
And again, letting us know the events that led up to the present and what's happening, let us know where everyone is. And finally, we learn InuYasha and Kagome were alive,
Right.
but they were trapped in the pearl.
Right.
And then we also got introduced to some new villains, Kimaru.
Right. Zero. And
some
with
people we love, not knowing we would love.
Yes.
Rion.
Yes, Rion and Riku. Yes.
And Takachio.
Right? the little raccoon dogs, yeah. And that becomes I guess the second half of the series, because they end up being, like you said, the antagonist, and they kind of keep building up to what happened to the parents and them being linked to it, and they show you some flashbacks and what happened, what caused them all to be separated. It all starts linking together, as you said.
And in the second season, you also learn more about the demon dog king.
Yeah.
What happened with him? What
Right.
happened with Sesshomoru's mom? You really learn more of the backstory that wasn't focused on in the original InuYasha series.
Right.
Again, this is brilliantly done. This is how you do a sequel.
Right. And with that,
Lots of action takes place in both season 1 and season 2.
Right.
The cliffhanger for season 1, you knew something was going to happen to reverse what happened. In case you haven't seen, we don't want to spoil it, but you didn't know what was going to happen.
Right.
And very creative in how they brought about a solution to the cliffhanger in season 1.
Right.
In season 2. Season 2 had a lot more action, a lot more fight scenes, a lot more of seeing Sesshomoru actually
Right.
lose his power.
Right.
Versus InuYasha, because InuYasha was InuYasha's series.
Right.
But in here, you had a little more focus on the brother and what he was capable of doing, and actually how powerful he is.
Right.
Even though he walks around very
Deadpan.
straight-faced, deadpan, and pretty. Yeah, he is a force to be reckoned with for sure.
Right. And with the second season, it was all about finding the parents. Because if you think about season 1, you said find what happened and the
Well, half of the
backstory.
season was about finding the parents.
Right. And then that ended up being the focus. Like the first half, find what happened to the parents, getting them back. And then the second half was defeating Kimaru, stopping the Grim Comet, and like, okay, they go cosmic this season. Okay. And it's like
the Grim Butterfly.
Right. And it's like, look, they're trying to go way out there.
Yeah, the Grim Butterfly and the Grim Comet and Kimaru. Yeah, very true. Their animation was spectacular.
It still looked the same.
It looks the same, but you can tell it's more vivid. It's more clean.
Yeah.
It's better. It's beautiful. Again, this is how you do a sequel. I know I
Right.
keep saying it, but I love when you can watch a series that comes back years later and it looks no different and like it's just continuing. I really do personally hate, H-A-T-E, I rarely use that word, when a series returns and everything's different about it.
Yeah.
Including the animation. I want it to look like there hasn't been a break, and this is how you do it. It looks like you just picked up where it left off, like there's been no time gap.
Right.
And Yashahime is one of the most perfect sequels ever.
Yes,
It
I can
really
agree
is,
with
absolutely.
that. Yes.
And let's not forget to mention, the entire voice cast was brought back in the initially in season 1. It was fantastic. Even Kirby Morrow, whom passed right after the series began filming.
Yeah.
But they brought him back, and it didn't matter how he sounded. You didn't care. You were just happy he was there being Moroku.
Right.
And then also the grandpa passed away in season 2.
Right. And then you could tell, like, on the last few episodes, he and the family featured
Kagome's grandpa.
Right. And you could tell by near the end of the second season, it was a different person. So, yeah, those were the only unfortunate parts. So, up until near the end of the first 2 seasons, everyone was accounted for, and I think that's great that they didn't go and either decline or try to get someone else or sound alike.
And again, this is how you do a sequel. You want to hear the people you love doing the roles again, unless it's not possible because they pass away. You want to hear them. You don't want to hear sound alikes. You don't want to hear someone you think is the editors or producers think is better or more famous or more popular.
Right.
You want the original characters to always return in a sequel. And when they don't, that just turns me off and makes me not want to watch it.
Right.
But here, they were brilliant. Whoever made these decisions needs to have a humongous raise, needs to be given multiple anime series to produce and
Right.
direct.
Whoever they are, they're the Andrea Romano of anime.
Yes, absolutely. Again, it's one of the most perfect sequels ever. This is how you do it. And we hope you've seen it either on Crunchyroll or live as it aired on Toonami each week. It's a fantastic anime. There's nothing like it. And it still maintains the integrity of the original, and it also maintains those values and lessons that were being told in the original, amongst all the fun and the action and the suspense and the demons.
Yes.
Everything is still intact.
It's like Mary mentioned, it was like a family, literally like a family show.
Absolutely. And you won't regret, if you haven't seen it, watching it. If you didn't watch it because you weren't sure if you were going to like it, if maybe you didn't like the idea of Ren being with Sesshomoru or anything like that, it's wonderfully done. It's tastefully done. And it's not like the internet was giving a picture of. It's a totally different story. And when you watch it, you'll get the truth behind how everyone ended up together.
Right. Oh, but one more thing I definitely got to mention is that the humor is still fantastic. They bring back the humor of Sit Boy and everything from
InuYasha! InuYasha!
And slapping Moroku. They bring all that back for the ones who watched the original show. And for the new one, you just got all the weird antics, the things they say, how they react. We're all going, ha! And acting weird. And for me, one of the funniest parts is Riku, you get that, you know, he doesn't know about like everything. Everything is nuanced to him. And part of the running thing I love is that, you know, all three of them are royalty. They're all princesses. You hear it being told multiple times. But for some reason with Riku, it goes Setsuna, Moroha, Lady Toa.
Because he was in love with her. That was the minute he called her Lady Toa was all over. Well, let's get to that ship and a couple more. But first, I also want to add that I remember telling you, there's no way the Kagome can still be going, InuYasha, InuYasha, or Sit Boy. And what is she doing? Sit Boy, InuYasha, InuYasha. And it's like she has an older voice. And she talks about, oh, I've been here all this time. And I still look so good. I barely aged. Isn't it wonderful? And nobody says anything. And it's like, are they jealous?
I don't know. I don't even know what to say.
But she does look great. And she's like, oh, look at me. It was so funny. But quickly, we'll go over our favorite ship. And then we'll end this podcast. It'll be going on for an hour.
You don't want to hear that.
So, of course, the favorite is InuYasha and Kagome. That's the favorite.
Of course, yeah.
The classic favorite is them. And I'm so happy they're still together. I'm so happy they're still in love. I'm so happy they were getting along wonderfully and safe within the Pearl. I'm so happy, and I was so happy to hear InuYasha. Yes, I cried when he met Moroha.
Yeah.
Every time I've seen that scene, I've cried. I'm not embarrassed or ashamed. But I loved it when he told her there wasn't a day we didn't think about you. And I was like, oh, it's just so wonderful. He became a wonderful dad. Yes, Kagome's a wonderful mom, but for InuYasha to turn into the dad he turned into is fantastic, because if you've seen InuYasha, the original series, you didn't think there was a chance in hell that was ever going to happen.
Right.
But it did, and it's like his human side and his demon dog side just somehow came together, and he became the perfect dad.
Right.
And that's one of my favorite episodes is, well, I have to say 2 episodes, because the first half, you saw Kagome hug her and cry. And then in the second episode, which might as well be called part 2,
right,
you see her meeting InuYasha, and they growl at each other, and act exactly the same way, distrustful, sniffing each other. And it was hilarious.
She said, yeah, you're your father's daughter. It's your kid.
And now, of course, we love Sango and Moroku.
Yeah.
We're happy they're together with 1 billion kids. And we're very happy that her brother, I think that's
so.
his name.
Yeah.
Is still alive.
And it brought back the Demon Slayer.
He's got the voice of like a
30-year-old man.
50-year-old man, very deep, very manly.
It's like,
and he still looks like a kid. But we're so happy that he's still there, and they didn't have anything happen to him between the first series and the second series. We're happy to see Kaede She hasn't aged.
Right.
She's no different.
Right, and she's probably over 100 now. She's still the same.
And Grandpa Flea, because for some reason his name eludes me.
Right.
And we're happy that Kirara is still around.
Yeah.
And we're just really happy to see all the old favorites return.
Okay.
Another ship that we absolutely love, and we're going to call the new favorite ship, is, I'm going to let Rascal say this.
Riku and Tawai.
Yes, and it was so funny because immediately I knew he was in love with her, because when you said, you don't know why he's in love with her, and you looked at me like, are you serious? Like, yes! The way he looked at her and Lady Toa, and he interacted with her differently than anyone else. I was like, yeah, he's in love with her. It took a while, a couple episodes before Toa fell for him. But immediately, as soon as he saw her and he smelled her, her lavender lotion,
like what?
He was in love with Toa.
And all the interactions with that is just funny.
Yes.
Because it's just like he says, no one else but her. The stuff he says, automatic's protecting her, and there's no things you see in here where they don't want the protection thing. Is completely fine here, and they protect each other. So they handle in a way where either side of a viewpoint would be fine with it.
Oh, and I have to say, and we were very happy to see Shippo again.
Yes.
We didn't mention him, he's a favorite, and in here we got to see Shippo use his Nine Tails power and all his different forms, and the internet became obsessed with him as the young adult.
Yeah.
And his hotness.
And
they were like, why doesn't he say like that? Then it wouldn't be Shippo.
Right, it's like, don't ruin it.
So,
yes.
Back to the ship. And you love their interactions. You loved how they were getting to know each other. You love how Toa told him it didn't matter that where he came from. We won't spoil that for you as well if you haven't seen it. It didn't matter. He was who he was, and he was just like, he was even more in love with her after that.
It's even better that he's voiced by Tanjiro.
Yes, yes. We couldn't believe. It was like, what?
Yeah.
But you love his character. I didn't expect to fall in love with Rion, and I mean as a character. I didn't expect that, but I did. He's just, he's wonderful and sweet and different from the person he came from, and he wants to be better. He's always trying to be better, and then you learn that he's hundreds of years old, and you're like, what?
Right.
And he looks the same.
And he's been told one way is the right way, and he gets conflicted for a while. He's like, what's the real right way? He saw him being hateful and stuff was the right thing, and he couldn't act like that.
So this is now our favorite new ship, and if you follow Rascal on Twitter under Rascal E10,
yes,
you will see she now has a whole bunch of Rion and Toa ships. What's the ship name?
I think they call it Ritoa. It almost sounds like the cough drop. I'm not kidding. So I was like, it's actually easier to remember Ritoa.
It should be called Tion, but okay.
Right? Because you won't be thinking of the cough drops.
It's our new favorite, and again, everything in this series is done perfectly. Even bringing in a new ship between two new characters is done beautifully. So if you have not seen Yashahime, Princess Half Demon, it's available on Crunchyroll to watch, and limitedly. We'll explain to you. The first season is available only in Japanese, Portuguese, and another language. Season 2 is not there at all. Season 3 is there.
It's everything together.
I'm sorry, season 2, there's no season 3. Season 2 is there, and it's only available in Japanese.
Right, and then season 3 is just everything together, and they could call it season 3.
Right, there's no season 3. Right. We're hoping there's a season 3.
Right, people are waiting for it.
But on Crunchyroll, it's not available to watch in English at all, which is why we ended up waiting for it on
Toonami,
to air. That's why we ended up waiting for it to air, because we just wanted to hear it in English because of InuYasha.
Right.
But if you haven't seen it, you really should. It's also available now to watch, I think, on YouTube.
I think the original show,
the InuYasha series in its entirety is available now on YouTube.
Yeah, I think they just haven't added the Yashahime yet.
And hopefully they will add that and dub it. Because right now, the only way to have seen it dubbed was airing on TV through Toonami. That's it.
Right. So, if you haven't already, subscribe for updates, weekly videos, and favorite anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
And if you haven't seen it, make every effort to watch it. You won't be disappointed. If you have read the original manga, InuYasha manga, let us know in the comments below. We really want to get this series I've seen it online, and the volumes look absolutely beautiful. The artwork, the covers, everything in it. It looks like, again, one of the most perfect mangas I've ever seen visually.
Right.
And I can't wait to own the entire collection. On Amazon, it's ridiculously priced, so hopefully we'll be able to slowly acquire the manga. I don't know if there was a manga for Yashahime.
It was, but it was after the anime, and it's like 3 volumes so far, and I don't know if it's like adapting the show, or are they doing like episodes of stories that weren't in the anime.
So if you've read that manga, let us know as well.
Right.
And thank you so much for your support, watching us and putting up with our hysterical laughter. Every podcast almost. We really enjoy bringing you the things that we love, and we hope we bring you a lot of joy in sharing that with you. We hope you love anime and animation as much as we do. And if you're new to it, like Honey Bunny Funny,
yeah,
we hope you are enjoying the world of animation and anime, and beginning to understand why it's such a loved medium by hundreds of millions of people around the world. It's not just for kids. Animation is for everyone. So
Right.
thank you for your support. And if you want us to check out your channel, put the name of your channel below or leave a link, and we'll check it out and subscribe to you and support you as well.
yes. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Rascal Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace. InuYasha! InuYasha!
Sit, boy.